Update the next day after you saw, the next day after I filmed all that other stuff. So I want to make sure I'm accurate and not making you think that every day, every minute is as amazing as yesterday was. It mostly is, but I also just want to be honest. So I'll describe what happened today. So I woke up at 9:30, slept in a little bit. At 10 a.m. I started my exercises, my COG at home, I call it COG FX at home. I did all that. I got a slight headache from doing an exercise called the VOR. Um, that's where you've got the thing in the middle and you look at it with your eyes and you stay focused on it, and then you turn your head and you try to stay focused on it while your head's turning in different directions. I got a little bit of a headache from that. And then I went to and I got a little bit of a headache also when I did my cards. If you don't know what the 4 pile card game is, I have a video that I uploaded that's just focusing on this one game, so check that out. So I did the card game, and then I had a little bit of a headache from that. My left eye hurt, and I was like, it's okay. And then I went to a great big like brunch potluck with like 20 people, maybe 25 people in a pretty small space. And so it was crowded inside. As soon as I got there, I was just like, wow, this is really overwhelming, more than normal for me. And so I went out on a very sunny side porch that they had where there was people congregating, and I sat in the sun. I left my sunglasses in the car, so I'm facing the sun, talking to people for about an hour. And I still felt pretty good. And then I got home. I was there for about an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours. And then when I got home, I was still raring to go, but I was just starting to feel like the slightest bit, kind of like I was hitting a little bit of a wall. And I remember I even thought to myself, like, this is sort of similar to what I get when I would sort of hit the wall, but just like a little bit of it. So it's a beautiful day here. So I loaded up my paddleboard gear in the car, and on the way to the lake, which is about a 20-minute drive, I just started to have this feeling. I was just like, dang, I am so tired. And then I realized my eyes were hurting from the sunlight. And then I realized they were hurting just in general. And then I realized I had a little bit of a headache coming on. And I was just like, man, if I hadn't just loaded all this stuff in the car, like I wouldn't feel obligated to use it. And if I was smart, I would just turn around and go home. And I just thought about, all the advice that they give you there about it's okay to push some, but you've also got to know where the limit is. And so I was like, you know what? It would be smart just turn around the car and go home and just rest. Because I checked in and I'm like, what do I really want to do right now? Not what do I want to do here, but like, what is my body asking me to do? It's like, my body tells me to go home, eat lunch, and go to sleep. Take a big old nap. So I turned my car around and I came home. And I was glad I did, because my symptoms kind of worsened on the way home. And then, of course, then you go through all the mental stuff. You're just like, oh no, what does it mean if my symptoms are coming back even a little bit? Because when you have mostly all good days, like I do, and then they come back even a little bit, you're like, oh no. So what does it all mean? It all means that even with how good I'm doing, I still do experience some days when I have a little bit of a setback and I've got to do things a little bit more moderated. So again, this is 6 weeks out from the end of my treatment. So again, I still have to calibrate and just be like, well, I'm still 98% better than I was. But I was thinking about the video I made yesterday that I hadn't uploaded yet. And I was like, that's really going to give people a false sense that I have like no symptoms ever. But at the time I made the video, I was just like, I don't know if I'll have symptoms ever again. As silly as that is. But that's what our mind does, right? Like when we're super symptomatic and we haven't had treatment, you build your life around that reality and you normalize that reality. And so I was like, oh, I'll probably never enjoy daylight again. So I organized my life around that reality. And then after I got treatment and I got back, I was just like, oh, I'll probably never really feel bad again because I feel great. And then I organized my life around that. So today was definitely like, wow. And like I said, I did say in the video yesterday that after intense exercise, I do tend to get a little symptomatic the next day, like with my convergence issues and stuff. That definitely has held true. And I had been so busy for the last week that I haven't exercised much at all. I've just been so busy working that I hadn't been out with the kettlebell. And so that was my first time out with the kettlebell in about a week. And so I think that's also why I feel the way I do today. I hope this information is helpful. Also, I'm sure, it's just more realistic because not every day is super shiny. So there you go. That's it. That's my report. I'm going to eat my sandwich. I'm going to eat my bag of Cheetos. Cheetos. Yum. I'm taking a nap.